Hi, I'm Outdoor Dave, and I realized today I was sitting in a little town here in Laurel, Montana, doing my 34-hour restart, and I realized that I've never really done an introductory type video for you guys. But I was born and raised in a small town in northern Indiana, Amish community, and there was two things that I always wanted to be when I was younger, when I grew up. And one of them was a soldier, and one of them was a truck driver. When I was a little kid, me and my sisters used to stand out by the road. We'd give the honk the horn sign to the trucks, and we thought it was the greatest thing when a truck would go by and honk the horn. So I always looked up to truck drivers, and I kind of wanted to do that, and I wanted to be a soldier. And by the grace of God, I've gotten to do both of them. When I got out of high school, I worked a bunch of jobs in factories and wasn't really ever happy working indoors. Longest I believe that I've ever worked in a factory was 9 months. Worked in a warehouse driving a forklift, and I liked that job. I did. It just didn't pay enough. And then one of my buddies offered me a job escorting mobile homes, and that's the little pilot car that either goes in front of or behind oversized loads with the amber lights and the oversized load signs. And I did that for a while, and then I started to learn how to bobtail home, and that's driving just the truck itself without a load behind it. And that was back in the early 90s. I had joined the Guard in the late 80s, and I met the guy who would get me into the escorting and starting to drive, and he helped me get started. And in '94, I was working at Coachman building sidewalls for campers, and he stopped by my house one night after work, and he's like, "Hey, are you still looking to buy a truck?" And I told him, "Bob, I really don't have money. I'm working in a factory, and well, for those of you that work in factories know, it's you can put back a little bit of money, but it's basically paycheck to paycheck if you have any bills at all." And he told me, he's like, "Don't worry about financing. I got you covered. Do you want to buy a truck or not?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I want to buy a truck." He's like, "Good." He said, "You're loaded for Missouri on Monday." He said, "You're going to buy my truck," which was an '84 Freightliner. It was spring ride, had a fresh rebuild motor in it. Truck ran great. It would only run 68 miles an hour. Cab over. It rode rough. It would beat you to death sitting still in a parking lot. But it was a good truck. It was, that's how I got started. And over the course of the next 7 years, I drove truck and hauled mobile homes, and I've hauled them all over the country, from Maine to Washington, southern Arizona, down into Texas, down into Florida. Never took one into California, Oregon, but the other 46 lower, I've been in with mobile homes. And then September 11th happened, and I joined active Army. I was out of the Guard, beyond my initial enlistment window, so I joined the active duty. My first duty station was down in Fort Campbell. We deployed to Iraq in 2003, March 2003, for the invasion, and then we came back February of 2004. Later that year, I PCS'd to Germany, and I spent the next 7 years in Germany. I did 2 deployments to Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan while I was stationed in Germany. Then I PCS'd to Fort Lewis, Washington, and I got hurt along the way in my military career, and I got 13 years. I got medically discharged, got out and started driving truck again. And the reason I came back to driving truck is there's certain aspects about driving truck that is great. The first one, what I do is power only. So we don't have a set trailer that goes with us. Our trailers change every time we go to a new spot. So I could be hauling a reefer today and a drop deck tomorrow, or a stack of chassis, like I've got now. And every load's a little bit different. So there's the challenge of that. You never know what the next load's going to be, what you're going to have to do, whether you're going to have to chain and bind and strap it. And it keeps it kind of interesting versus going to work and getting on the same forklift, or going to work and standing at the same machine. And even though I'm sitting at the same machine day in and day out, it's different because I get to keep moving. I had a conversation with one of my old Army buddies yesterday, and I was talking about it. It's like, you know, when I look out my office window, if I don't like what I see, I wait about 10 minutes and the scenery changes, you know, and I'm looking out the same window. So I get to keep moving like all the time. And I've gotten to see a lot of great things in America. I've got to rock climb up the backside of Mount Rushmore. I've been to Mount Rushmore quite a few times. And I got to do that with one of my buddies that I started hauling mobile homes with back in the early 90s, Billy Durr. And we rock climbed up the backside of Mount Rushmore. It was a pretty interesting day. You know, I've done a lot of crazy things out on the road, and it's kept it interesting. Another thing I like about my job is I get to work my own schedule. If I get up in the morning and I don't feel like doing anything, I have the option of just sitting there. But just sitting there doesn't pay the bills. So how far I drive and how much I work that day depends on how much I want to work. You know, like the trip that I'm on now, it's a 2,000-mile trip. I picked it up on Thursday. I'll either have it there tomorrow evening or Tuesday morning. And, you know, it's just like when I want to get there is when I'm going to get there. Another great thing about the job that I do is every day has the potential to be an epic journey. You know, there's no set route that I have to take. You know, the GPS when I left southern Michigan with this one said stay on 90, go up through Wisconsin, Minnesota, across South Dakota that way. I didn't really want to go that way. I've got 7 axles on the ground. The tolls in Illinois go by axles, so I took 80 over to 29 up to 90. I put a video on, and it's a 2-part video. The first part's really long. The second part not quite as long, but it was in Murdo, South Dakota. Now I'd been there before, walked through those museums, and it's a great spot. I love walking through there, kind of like Russell's down in New Mexico. Love going in there, looking at the museum, at the stuff they have in there, the cars and stuff, and of course the Huevos Rancheros. I've got to see things up in Northern California, and I've got a video posted, update on Oroville Dam of Lake Shasta up there. My brother-in-law has been out here 28 years now. He's never seen it full until this year, recently, and it's neat to see that. You know, I've been in places where it was 120 degrees during the day, and I leave there, and that night it's down in the 60s. You know, so I go from running air conditioner to running a heater at night. And I know 60 degrees doesn't sound cold, but when you go from 120 degrees to 60 degrees, that's a huge temperature change. But everything's always an adventure. You know, what I do, not everybody can do it, because you're away from home a lot. I miss a lot of things that my daughter does. I don't get to see Tracy very much. You know, I get home when I can, and that's one of the downsides, but I absolutely love what I do. If I don't feel like communicating with anybody during the day, I turn my CV down. I don't call anybody. I listen to the radio. I get to listen to what I want to listen to, when I want to listen to it, however loud I want to listen to it. If I don't want to listen to the radio at all, I can shut it off. It's just me and Buddy, you know, and we get along great. We stop. He gets out and runs around. You know, I get to make YouTube videos, and it's different every day, and that's who I am. You know, I like to go camping. There's my first video on my YouTube channel is me camping up by Mount Rainier, a little town called Greenwater. I love to go camping. I love to go kayaking, fishing. I love to go shooting. You know, this job affords me those opportunities to get out and actually see things and do things. So, like I say, I hadn't done a video to introduce myself to you guys, and I know it's a little late in the game, but I wanted to let you know who I am. And that's kind of me in a nutshell. Please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down there of videos that you might want to see, you know, of something that in the country, or you'd like to see me do, or just stop in and say hi. And tell your friends about it, share it around, and I appreciate all the views. You guys have a wonderful day and be safe out there. Thanks.